Okay, what's going on, world? This dude, the Bronco, back with another episode of First and 10 podcast. On this episode, uh, free agency is right around the corner. Um, it starts March 12th. That's when the new league year begins. Um, the legal tampering period will start March 10th. That's when teams could agree to a deal with a certain player, certain free agent, but the deal won't become official until March 12th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Mountain Time. But I'm in the Eastern Time zone, so 4 p.m. Eastern Time on March 12th, deals can become official. Um, the league announced yesterday that the new cap space for teams will be between 277.5 million to 288.5 million. The league announced it to every team yesterday. So the Broncos will have some money to spend, and they're in good. Excuse me. They're in a good place. They got their quarterback last year, Bo Nix, with the 12th overall pick, and he's still being disrespected today. Of course, Jaden was the true number one quarterback last year coming out, but these guys got Drake May and Michael Penix ahead of Bo Nix, which Bo Nix had a great rookie season. Came in number two behind Bo Nix, and he came in number two behind you know Washington Jaden Daniels quarterback. So Bo Nix should be number two. You know what I mean? But he has to earn it. He likes playing with that chip on his shoulders. So the Broncos will have enough money to go out and get players to surround Bo Nix with a better supporting cast around him than he had last year. But look what he did last year without a running game, right? He was his own running game. He could have put up probably about 6, 7 yards um, rushing, but he hurt his back, I think, in that first Raiders game. So he was dealing with that. But the future is bright for Denver, which it hasn't been in really close to a decade. But the future looks bright. They made the playoffs last year after not making it in 9 years, 8 to 9 years since that Super Bowl 50 team. Sean Payton as his quarterback. They got a little work to do, but not much. They just gotta, well, while I say the cap, let's just get into a more of a specific specification of what the Broncos could be looking to do in free agency. First, we'll start with some players that won't be back. Javonte Williams is on an expiring contract. look for him not to be signed back to Denver. He just never looked the same after that horrific injury he suffered. Maybe he came back too soon or what, but he never looked like the Javante Williams that be breaking tackles and all that. So look for him to be gone. Basically, look for basically a whole entirely different, like maybe running back room. Which Audric Esme is still on a rookie contract. So is Jaleel McLaughlin. Jaleel McLaughlin has been lot of sports analysts are high on Javante Williams. Are high on Jaleel McLaughlin in his third season, saying that he could really have a really breakout season in his third season in the NFL. That would be nice. Uh, they're going to draft a running back, but they could also take a running back in free agency. They've been linked to like the likes of Najee Harris out of Pittsburgh, Aaron Jones out of Minnesota, Rico Dow out of Dallas. But who knows which one they would preferably choose to land on. Preferably Rico Dow because he's much younger and still probably has a lot of tread left on his tire. Excuse me, a lot of tread left on his tires. So we'll see. Right now, I'm just speculating, talking about different moves and different people who they've been linked to. Now, in the wide receiver department, during Super Bowl week out in NOLA, Sean Payton was on the Upper Adams podcast talking to Kay Adams. He likes to spill some of the tea on Kay Adams. He said that they have 3 buckets. Must have, needs. Must haves is the first bucket. Needs is the second, and the wants, is the third tier. So the must haves, the needs, and then the wants. Sean Payton is actually higher than most people on his wide receiver group, on his wide receiver room. Marvin Mims look to take off, and I think we'll see a lot more Marvin Mims in a wide receiver role this season. He kind of turned on the burners and started to be a consistent threat at the wide receiver department for Marvin Mims. And Cortland Sutton, a lot of people still want him around, but he's really not a true number one, but he's considered the number one wide receiver for the Denver Broncos. Cortland Sutton is going to be pushing 30. Now, wide receivers like Chris Godwin from Tampa Bay has been linked to Denver. Deebo Samuel was actually on the podcast with Liv Moose, and he's been linked to Denver as well. And also the Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson also has been linked to Denver. So we'll just have to wait and see what that turns out to look like. whether they just choose to take a wide receiver in the draft or just add one to the room. Now we're gonna get to like the tight ends. They have been basically non-existent for the Denver Broncos in 2024. Look for that room to get a makeover, a complete overhaul. They've been linked to people like the tight ends like Jawan Johnson out of New Orleans. You know, Sean Payton drafted him when he was still in the Saints head coach. So look for Jawan Johnson. He had been connected to Denver. Um, Zach Ertz, Mike Gessie. They're also names to watch. Now, the inside linebacker room is speculated to have a makeover because they don't have a linebacker that could cover and that can cover tight ends. That's always been Achilles heel for the Broncos, which they look to solve this offseason, specifically in free agency. So names to watch: Zach Bond, uh, Javon Holland, and Javon Hargrave. Names to watch. And Alex Singleton, he's pushing what, 31 years old, coming off a rough ACL tear. So he could be a cap casualty, as well as Cody Barton and Justin Strnad. So just keep an eye on that. The safeties. Brandon Jones was a good offseason free agent signing for the Denver Broncos. Look for PJ Locke not to come back because they need to upgrade that spot. And inside linebacker, you know, the inside D line was good. DJ Jones has been rumored as one likely to come back. He played a hell of a season this year. But JFN, he's probably likely to be a cap casualty, but I don't see why. But he's liable to also be a cap casualty. But they got money to spend. Look for them to fill their needs in free agency. And also, upgrade at center because Luke Wattenberg wasn't really. He was good. Luke Wattenberg was good in pass protection, but not good in run blocking. That could be another reason why the run game was non-existent. So look for them to upgrade the center, the center position in free agency. Drew Dalman is a name to watch. So that's about likely all news on that end for today. I'll probably be back tomorrow with more Bronco updates. And we're going to do this with the Mile High Salute and go out while the music plays.